today's reading. Genesis 7-9, Genesis 10:1-32, with parallel passages in 1 Chronicles 1:1-23. In these chapters, we will study the flood, God's covenant with Noah, and the spread of the nations after the flood. As we read, we will reflect on several important questions drawn from the text. At the end of our discussion, we will summarize each chapter to reinforce and clarify what we have learned.
Genesis chapter 7. And the Lord said unto Noah,
Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy off the face of the earth.
And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth, there went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day entered Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land, died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. Genesis chapter 8. And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep, and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, was the earth dried. And God spake unto Noah, saying,
Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth.
And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart,
I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seedtime and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
Genesis chapter 9. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them,
Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as a green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is in the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man. At the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of a man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. And you, be ye fruitful, and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein.
And God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying,
And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth.
And God said,
This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth.
And God said unto Noah,
This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth.
And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment, and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said,
Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
And he said,
Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Genesis chapter 10. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations.
The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim.
And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Raamah, and Sabteka. And the sons of Raamah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naphtuhim. And Pathrusim and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Ardavite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah and Zeboam, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations.
The sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Raamah, and Sabteka. And the sons of Raamah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be mighty upon the earth. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naphtuhim. And Pathrusim, and Casluhim, of whom came the Philistines, and Caphthorim. And Canaan begat Zidon, his firstborn, and Heth. The Jebusite also, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite.
Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Selah, and Selah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad, and Sheleph, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah, and Hadoram, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. And their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east.
The sons of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram, and Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Meshech. And Arphaxad begat Shelah, and Shelah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of the one was Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad, and Sheleph, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah. Hadoram also, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Ebal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan.
These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood.
What did Noah and his family eat in the ark? Genesis 7:7. Originally, both humans and animals were given a vegetarian diet. Genesis 1:29-30. It is likely that Noah stored seeds, fruits, and grains to sustain both his family and the animals during their time in the ark. After the flood destroyed vegetation, God granted permission for humans to eat meat, Genesis 9:3-4, though he prohibited consuming blood. How widespread was the flood? Genesis 7:17-24. Many believe the flood was global for several reasons. 1, it is described as destroying all life under the heavens, 6:17. 2, the waters rose above all the high mountains, 7:19-20. 3, the flood lasted over a year, approximately 371 days. 4, the New Testament compares it to the final judgment of the whole earth, 2 Peter 3:3-7. Others suggest the flood may have been regional but described in universal language. The Hebrew word often translated earth can also mean land or region. For example, Genesis 41:57 describes famine in all the world, meaning the known world of that time. Christians differ on this question. What is clear is that the flood was a decisive act of divine judgment and mercy. Why did God promise not to repeat such judgment? Genesis 8, verse 21-22. After the flood, God promised that the natural rhythms of the earth, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, would continue as long as the earth endures. This promise reflects God's commitment to sustain creation and allow human history to unfold according to his redemptive plan. The rainbow serves as a visible sign of this covenant, Genesis 9, verse 12-17. How does God hold animals accountable? Genesis 9:5. Animals that take human life were subject to death. See Exodus 21, verse 28-29. This does not mean animals bear moral guilt like humans, but it reflects the sacred value of human life. Human beings are uniquely made in God's image, Genesis 9, verse 6. Because of that, human life carries special dignity and protection. How could different races descend from one family? Genesis 9:19. All nations trace back to Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Physical differences such as skin color arise from variations in melanin and can develop over generations, especially when populations become geographically separated. Language, culture, and traditions also diversify over time due to isolation and adaptation. Scripture affirms the unity of humanity. From one man he made all the nations, Acts 17, verse 26. The Bible presents humanity as one family with diverse expressions. Why is Nimrod highlighted in the genealogies? 1 Chronicles 1, verse 10, Genesis 10, verse 8-12. Most genealogies simply list names, but occasionally additional details are provided. Nimrod is described as a mighty warrior and powerful ruler. His mention reminds us that these lists represent real people who shaped history. Other genealogies also include brief notes, such as Peleg, during whose time the earth was divided, Genesis 10:25, or who was judged for wickedness, 1 Chronicles 2, verse 3. Jabez, who was more honorable than his brothers, 1 Chronicles 4:9-10. Genealogies are theological history, not random lists. Who are the modern descendants of Noah's sons? Genesis 10, verse 32. Traditionally, Shem is associated with Semitic peoples, including the line that leads to Israel. Ham is associated with Egypt, Ethiopia, Canaan, and parts of Africa. Japheth is often linked with Indo-European peoples. Genesis 10, sometimes called the Table of Nations, explains the origin of ancient peoples and sets the stage for the rest of biblical history. A concise chapter-by-chapter summary of Genesis 7 to 10. Genesis 7. The flood begins. Noah, his family, and the animals enter the ark as God commands. The floodwaters come from both the heavens and the deep, covering the earth. Every living thing outside the ark perishes. The waters prevail for many months, demonstrating the seriousness of God's judgment against widespread corruption and violence. Theme: God judges sin but preserves a faithful remnant. Nachar, Genesis 8. The waters recede. God remembers Noah. The waters gradually recede, and the ark comes to rest on the mountains of Ararat. After leaving the ark, Noah builds an altar and offers sacrifices. God promises never again to destroy all living creatures by flood, and assures the continuation of the earth's natural cycles, seed time and harvest, day and night. Theme: mercy follows judgment. God sustains creation. Genesis 9. God's covenant with Noah. God blesses Noah and his sons, commanding them to multiply and fill the earth. Humanity is now permitted to eat meat, but blood is forbidden. God establishes a covenant with Noah and all living creatures, promising never again to destroy the earth by flood. The rainbow is given as the sign of this covenant. The chapter ends with Noah's drunkenness and the actions of his sons, leading to blessings and a curse that foreshadow future nations. Theme: God values human life and commits to his covenant purposes. Genesis 10, the Table of Nations. This chapter lists the descendants of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. It traces the origins of many ancient nations and people groups. Nimrod is briefly highlighted as a mighty ruler. The chapter shows how the earth became populated and divided into nations, languages, and territories. Theme: all nations originate from one family, under God's sovereign plan. Overall message: Genesis 7 to 10 reveals both the severity of sin and the depth of God's mercy. Though humanity deserved judgment, God preserved a remnant, established a covenant, and laid the foundation for the nations of the world, preparing the stage for the unfolding story of redemption.
May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace.